Well, hello there my loves. Thank you for watching today's video and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're really well. In today's video I'm going to be answering the question that I've received from a wonderful woman called Ludmilla, and her question is: I talk with a lot of words and would like to reduce this number. I try to use fewer words but it turns into more words instead. It is a big problem for me because people are getting tired in the middle of conversations. How can I use fewer words in conversations? Well, first of all, thank you so much for your question. And as you'll know, we did a little bit more digging to find out, trying to identify what the real problem was. So you went away and you asked your friends to comment on this problem that you believe to be a problem. And what they actually came back to you and said was they believe that this not to be the truth. And they believe that conversations that you and they have were always really interesting, engaging, and that you often bring a lot of good, useful information to a conversation, which was really reassuring. So I know that you already know this, but I'm going to repeat it to you again. I think you're an absolutely incredible person. Conversations that you and I have together are always really wonderful, really interesting, and filled with such an interesting perspective on life. And you know that, so I think it's important that you start to believe that about yourself a bit more, and believe that you do bring such important things to a conversation. I mean, when I think about the conversations that we've had in the past, I always have a really positive feeling about it, a really positive internal kinesthetic about it. So it's important that you kind of take what you've found out from the conversations that you've had with other people about this thing that you believe to be a problem, and start focusing on the fact that actually this may just be a belief that you have that is something that can be overcome. Because from my experience of you and from what I've learned of others' experiences of you, it's not the truth. So it's important to focus on that. Now, what we discovered also when we did a little bit more digging was that there were two particular incidences of criticisms that you've experienced that perhaps left you feeling with doubts about your interactions in conversations. Now, I know that you know how to do this, and anybody that doesn't, I recommend that you contact somebody who does. Now, it's important that you start to clear these doubts using your skills of timeline therapy and perhaps using some hypnotherapy as well. If you're not confident enough to use those skills with yourself, then it's important that you perhaps reach out to one of the other graduates and connect with them and see whether they would be happy to do some work with you. Now, the reason that these criticisms perhaps have left you with some doubts is because you valued the opinions of the people who said them. And that's okay, but what's also is okay is that you have the skills, you have the ability, and you have the know-how, you have all of the knowledge that you need to actually clear these limiting beliefs, these doubts, using your skills. So I'd recommend that you get onto that and start, having the positive beliefs and empowering beliefs about yourself in conversations that you know that you have already. They've just been overshadowed perhaps by some comments that have been made. So that would be my first suggestion. Now, from what you've told me and from the conversation that we've had, I know that there are some learnings that you can take from this situation already, and also, start applying that to the conversations that you have. I don't want to share all of the details that we've discussed, but I know that there are some learnings that you can take away, and potentially around giving a bit more space in conversations for others to have their say, if you think that that's something that potentially might help for you to work on. I also want to remind you that, you are, in my opinion, one of the sweetest, kindest people that I possibly have actually met. You've got such a kind heart, and I know that with this knowledge now that you have of perhaps the way that some people have felt about conversations that you've had, it's going to be something that's really easy for you to change, because you have that conscious awareness now. And the more you practice it, the easier it'll get. And it just then falls into that unconscious behaviour, becomes a habit for you to do. So now that you have that conscious awareness of it, I believe that by that alone is going to help you to make those positive changes to help your conversations and your communication be even more effective, be even more helpful, be even more well received, and also using your skills of rapport that you know and your sensory acuity that you know, you can start to implement all of those things just in your daily conversations, and I know that you'll see a positive impact and a positive result from doing that. So, and also give, other people, if that's something to remember, is that if that's how they're feeling, then they also need to take some responsibility for that, for their part in the communication. And perhaps something that they might need to work on is building their confidence so that they can have their say in conversations, but involving them, including them, inviting them to get involved in the conversation is something that you could also work on doing as well, and that will be helpful for you too. So my love, do let me know how this has helped you, and I'd love to know how you get on in the future in terms of your communication. And give me a thumbs up on my video if you have enjoyed it, and for others of you watching, do give me a like as well, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. I will leave it there for today, and I look forward to making another video again really, really soon. Okay, bye for now.